Welcome, everybody. We are super excited about the series that we just completed. It is all about sales.
Yes. The what do you call it? The elephant in the room in
Yes.
a lot of people's businesses.
The things that people don't like to do. Most of us businesses
Right.
don't like to do. And if you don't think that you're a salesperson or you don't think that you need sales in your business, you are wrong, because you
So
should be
wrong.
selling all the time.
Right. I mean, it's a necessary evil. How are you going to grow your business? How are you going to feed your family? And how are you going to support the community if you're not generating revenue to do it?
Exactly. Yeah. So we go over all the things. I mean, from handling rejection, is that
Yep.
right? Yeah.
Generating leads.
Generating leads to creating processes around sales.
Yep.
Yes.
Closing the deal, building relationships,
Following up.
all of everything that we go through in trying to grow our businesses. The goal was to cover it all. So I'm pretty sure we did a good job at that. Go back, check out the videos, implement what you learned, because what is the purpose of learning something if we're not going to execute?
Yes. Which we're going to talk about actually in one of our short videos.
Yes.
For our summer series, we're going to talk about doing what you need to do.
Yeah. So while you're out camping, you're on the beach, you're doing nothing, and your brain is turning into mush, we got some shorts for you to keep your brain active.
Yes, we do. We're really excited about that. So we've taken all of the whole sales series that we did. We've packed it into all of the best parts, which is about to happen right now. If you want more information on any of these, feel free to go back and watch the entire series. It's all great.
Yep. Enjoy it.
Have
Let's
some fun.
go.
The Business Project Podcast.
Business can be complicated.
We break it down so regular people like us
Can understand and find success. I'm John Crespo, accountant and consultant.
I'm Casey Bryant, marketer and event planner,
If you run a business,
or want to run a business.
welcome to the show.
Sales is just it's something that is so important to every aspect of what we do, and there is a lot of hesitancy about it, but we don't realize how much we actually sell on a day-to-day basis. If you got kids, guess what you have to sell them on? Veggies. Right?
Yep. Cleaning your room.
Clean your room. There's sales cycles and processes that are happening from the time you wake up to the time you go to bed.
For a business owner who's trying to sell a service or a product, it's very important to, I guess, listen to your clients or potential customers and try to find what that pain point is and answer that, right?
Yeah.
Find a solution to it.
Yeah, so you want to ask really good questions and let them in. We have an acronym, it's called CPR. So cut open the wound, pour salt in it, and then give them the remedy, give them the resolution.
Resuscitation.
Yeah, right? So because you have to understand emotionally, people don't buy on logic. It doesn't matter what we're talking about, right? Your spouse didn't marry you off
emotional.
logic.
Yeah.
Every buying decision is emotional.
Yeah.
Right? So the way that we get people to make those purchasing decisions is we expose either the pain or the reward of the situation and get them to a buying decision. I could tell you right now, hey, without knowing anything about you, hey, I could take your business to $1 million a year. It's going to cost you this. And then I could lay out all that logically to you to where it makes perfect sense, and you probably still wouldn't buy. Because you're not going to buy logically.
We haven't hit that emotional,
You haven't hit that.
that little tug in your heart yet.
That's right.
Okay.
But if I ask you, why do you want to hit $1 million in revenue? And you're like, well, my kids have never been out of the country. I want to go to China. I want to go to Egypt. I want to go wherever. And then I start thinking, well, why is that important to take your kids to X, Y, and Z?
Mm-hmm.
And then, well, because I never got to go anywhere. Why is that important? And if I just dig it far enough, then all the logic won't matter. It's about actually fulfilling that need.
Sales processes, I have a struggle with that.
Why?
I have so many sales process ideas in my head that I just can't implement.
Implementation is the hardest part
Yeah.
of everything in business, I feel like.
For sure. And I think my biggest issue is I try to do them all at the same time.
Oh, yeah, that's hard too.
When you throw everything at the wind and try to see what sticks, when it comes to sales, It's not necessarily the right approach. And I think of sales process, right, is the life cycle of when you meet a potential customer or client to the close, right?
Yeah, that's what I would say.
Yeah. And then what you do in that cycle is the process, right? So is there the meet and greet, right? The hello, right? Like the initial engagement. And then you have the solution, right?
The pitch.
The pitch, right? And then you have the close, and then you have the follow-up. That's the process.
That's the process.
Wow.
But getting specific into the process
Yeah.
is the important part.
Right.
Making sure that you have some automations
Yep.
put in place. So let's define an automation.
I would say an automation is something that runs by itself.
Yep.
You start the process, and then it takes over from there and runs it and completes it by itself.
Generate leads. Yes. This is just a work intensive one. I feel like it takes a lot of work to generate leads. It's not like you're just going to open your doors of your business and people are just going to flow through because they think you're awesome. Usually that doesn't happen.
Yeah. You got to have focus. You have to be consistent. That's something that you should measure, right? So there's a lot of steps that we're going to talk about that really will help you kind of like hold yourself accountable to make sure that you're doing the right steps to generate those leads, because how else are you going to get clients into the door if you're not actively seeking out those clients?
Yeah.
I mean, just like when we spoke about the marketing plan section in our series, understanding who you're going to go after is probably the most important thing in lead generation.
Yeah, because if you don't know who your market is, you're going to spend way too much time trying to go after the wrong people.
Yes.
Yeah, or you're not going to appeal to them at all.
And that's going to be frustrating because you're spinning your wheels. You're going to be wondering why your efforts are not producing fruit, right? Because you're not going after the people that actually want your service.
Yeah.
So you have to understand who those people are.
This is hard. This is a hard topic.
Yeah.
I think it's easy to talk about, but it's hard to do. It's hard to implement.
It's necessary as a business owner, and that's who we're talking to, right? Or wannabe business owners. You gotta sell.
Yeah.
Nobody's gonna come to you just because you opened the business.
And I think in our country, we talked about this before, selling it's looked as it's almost like the tax man.
Right.
In the Bible. It's like this sleazy person that's trying to get your money. But that's not how it has to be at all.
Right. Yeah, it's not like those movies on TV where it's the used car salesman, selling you a jalopy, then telling you it's a Mercedes. We're talking about business owners, right? And how important it is for business owners to really understand that selling your product or service is something you have to do, whether you like to or not, right? Or if you don't like to do it, find somebody that can help you do it, right? But it's a necessary evil. And I think that the mindset is that you're throwing your product in somebody's face and you're forcing it upon them and hoping that somebody just agrees and takes it.
Pick something today and implement it. Take a step forward. Don't just sit here and listen and do nothing.
Yeah, I mean, especially if you want to grow your business, right? You want to increase sales, you got to put the work in.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and this is an important part of your business.
Yeah.
Probably one of the most important part is sales.
And then we're talking about closing.
Yes.
So closing is you can talk about your product or your service all day, but if you can't get your client or customer to
show me the money,
pay up, exactly, then what good is it?
Yeah.
Right. So there's a method to the madness. Right. There's a method to presenting your product or service, and then there's a method to getting your client or prospect to actually commit.
So what is the method?
So the method is closing.
Closing.
Yeah.
So
we
how
talked
do we
about
do
the
it?
other ones, right? We talked about the lead generation. We talked about the importance of systems in place to just follow that and track it. And now it's time to talk about, hey, we've created the lead. We've spoken about our product. I know we're going to go into relationship, right? The importance of the relationship piece of it, but we started building those relationships. And now we have to show why you need it, the value, and
Close
get someone
it.
to commit. Yep,
Yeah.
the closing.
Commitment. Whew.